Okay, I'm going to try to do Thebes out of this piece of harvester. I've kind of got it drawn in with pencil here, what I'm attempting to do. The notches are probably not going to be exactly like this, but you know, just something along this line here, and really on the stem, looking for something just a smidge wider than my thumb, and you know, just a little bit of rounded ears and more or less a rounded base on it. So we'll see what the Notch-O-Matic can do with this piece of harvester here. So there we go. That was a pretty good flake. Like to get somewhat aggressive, I guess, on the first flakes here, because if you can run some thinning up into your area where you project your notch to be, that only helps you. So do a little touching up here maybe. From my last video, I had some people asking about this horseshoe nail notcher that I've got. This is just a Dave Parker Red Rock Lithics dome piece, and it's just drilled and tapped to receive really either copper or steel, whatever you want to put in it, and then it's got 2 set screws, and I put this in my own handle. But anyway, this is a, you know, kind of a good tool for getting in and doing a little platform preparation when needed. That's probably good enough there. I think when you're preparing your platform, if you do too much in here, it makes that platform a little too strong. And when you try to notch, when your platform's too strong, you've got a good chance of either A, flake not coming off at all, or B, tear off more than you intended to, or C, you know, stall out your platform. So if one doesn't come off, it's usually not because you didn't pull hard enough, but it's more likely because your platform wasn't correct. So far so good. Now this base is going to get kind of rounded off here like so. So a lot of this that's hanging on there right now is unnecessary mass. Now if I look at this, I've got a thicker on this side. Had a really good conchoidal flake come out on this side, so I've got some room there, but I'm just gonna go ahead and get in there and get that elevation fixed up for this next flake. Now there is a little bit of loose stuff there. I really want that on there. Okay, boom, that was a nice flake. So I got a nice conchoidal flake in that thick area, so that's going to help me quite a bit. Again, I'm just going to get the sharp off of there. I'm not going to do a lot of grinding on that with my horseshoe notcher. Okay, bing. Now at some point here I'm going to run out of room with this horseshoe notcher, and I'm either going to have to come at it from the top and bottom or lengthen my tool, this tool. Okay, now on that one, it took out a flake, but not as much as I wanted, so I'm going to actually take another from that same side. Yep, that looked pretty good. Okay, I'm getting close here. I may abandon this notch while I work on the other side. I always like to stop a little bit short of what I can actually achieve, because if the other side stalls out, that way I've got room to at least make it symmetrical, even if I don't get as deep as I wanted to. Huge conchoidal fracture on that one, so that's nice. That really is going to help that finish up and leave that platform in a very workable position. Okay, so there's most of what's notch 1. So now we're going to see if we can't match that, and here's where I'm really going to run into issues here, because I always have a symmetry problem. Have them running different directions and, you know, looking dumb. But anyhow, here we go. Didn't like that, the sounds of it, so I'm going to go ahead and just do a little pressure to get this thing started like I want it. Okay. Now I've got a lot of meat here, so if I do blow something out, I've got room to recover. Again, I got to be careful about doing too much to that, because I don't want to make it too strong. If I make it too strong, it wants to do things like take ears off and what have you. Okay. Cool. And already I can tell that my symmetry's off. If I look at this, this one's going to be at a different angle if I don't come up here. So I know I've got to work this way. So I basically need to them straight across like that. Okay. Just going to do just a short one here. Okay. Ooh. Sounds a little stout here. Oop, there we go. Good, it came. That was going to be my last poke at that one before I made an adjustment. Little step fracture in there. I'm going to try to get rid of that with the pressure flaker here if I can. I get some of it, get a little more here. I think on my next go from the other side that'll disappear, but if it's easy to get off, I'm going to go ahead and get it off with the pressure flaker. See, that step fracture kind of stole some energy from that there, so we're going to try to clean that up a little bit. Okay, I'm starting to get a little stall here. It's concerning me, but I think I should be able to power through it here. We're going to see how this goes. Get up a little higher. There we go. That really helped. Okay, that got rid of pretty much all of that step fracture. And then some. Now I've got a super favorable angle here, so I'm going to get up a little bit higher this time. Pow. See that little hanger in there? I'm going to try to get rid of that guy. that's going to be an energy stealer. There we go, came out. Okay, now I've got some thickness here on this side, so I'm going to get up just a smooch higher, just a little bit higher on that platform to try to drive a bigger scar and give it just a little bit of tilt too this time. Exactly what I needed. Oops. Put that in there. Where was that? It was in there like so. Okay. Okay, now before I finish up the termination on these notches, I wonder if I ought to go another. I'm going to do a little shaping on this base, because when I shape the base first, it kind of helps me understand what I want this to look like up in here. I think maybe I need to do one more on this face, just for depth first, and then I'll come back and finish it in a moment. Yep. Okay, good deal. All right, so now I'm going to use my copper notcher. Try to tune up this base a little bit. And on a Thebes, I do want a little bit bigger notch than the Notch-O-Matic has provided me so far. And I want the base down here, the ears on the base, to be a little bit more rounded than this is offering right now. So instead of just making the profile right, I also want to make the thickness right. So I'm going to try to, do a little pressure flaking inward from the edge of the base as well. I think a lot of guys that nap, they think in 2 dimensions sometimes, and they just want the profile to look like a certain point type, but not necessarily the cross section as well. So I guess that's what I'm getting at here is, if you're going to make it look like a Thebes base, make it look like a Thebes base all the way across. And on all the real ones I've held, the bases are kind of thin. that's kind of how I want it to look. Rounded somewhat. Okay, we'll do a little bit more cleaning on this later. The other thing I want to do here, and we're not done notching, by the way. I'm going to come in here, kind of clean up these ears a little bit. They're thick out here on the edge, and I don't like that, so I'm going to work to thin those out here on the edges. Plus, I need to flatten them out a little bit this way. Okay, without going ahead and finishing this thing, I think I'll go ahead and stop there. I'll do the edge work and clean up on it a bit later. Now, to make these Thebes notches finished like they should be, my old buddy Mark kind of keyed me in on this. So when you come in, you don't want a sharp termination like that. You actually want it to kind of come up and have just a tiny bit of a stem like that. So you want it to be, you know, where it's kind of straight up and then bleeds in to the ear, and that straight part right there is what I'm going to try to achieve next. So we'll see if the Notch-O-Matic can handle a little bit of a turn here. So again, I'm just going to try to favor away so that I can clean it up and make that kind of a straight edge there. And I think that's the side I want to attempt from. Again, that was a very non-aggressive flake, and so I'm going to try to do there is now clean that up and try to make that stem part. And if there's a way I can get a flake right up in there, that'll help me square that edge just a little. See how much better that looks with it being, you know, having that kind of straight part there, just a little bit. I mean, it doesn't take much to make it look good, look better anyway. So I'll try the same thing over here, and again, I'm just going to favor away from the stem. Again, I'm doing a really non-aggressive flake here. Not much platform and very little pull. Okay. And then just simply blend that in. To the ear. Okay, so that's pretty much what I want that base to look like. I got a little bit of fine tuning to do here on the 2D profile of this point, but as far as the notches go, I think I'm done. So I'm going to pause this just to make this video not too long, and I'll go ahead and finish it with my pressure flaking, and come back and show you how it looks when I'm finished. Okay, I got it finished up, about as much detail as I want to give it anyway. So Thebes, I actually finished it with well, antler tine. Seems to work a little better than copper steel, in all honesty. And notched with the old Notch-O-Matic.